Last we checked in, it was October 1777. The British had surrendered. Well, General Burgoyne and the British had surrendered at the battle at Saratoga. This was a major turning point for the Continental Army. Turning point is when things start to switch over to the other side. It was a turning point because it proved that the Americans could win this war. But as we got a little bit into the fall of 1777, there were some victories for General Howe and his British troops around the area of Philadelphia. Philadelphia at this time was serving as the nation's capital. So you have, at this point, George Washington and his men are going to be going through the Pennsylvania wilderness to try to get to Philadelphia to stop this. Also in Pennsylvania is Valley Forge. George Washington and his men suffer an awful winter here. Read on some of the slides to give you the details. I put a couple epic articles. Some I just inserted right into the slides, so you can just read along there, detailing how really awful it was during this time. Basically, this was a stopping ground. They weren't actually in battle here. This was on their way. They stayed at Valley Forge because it gave them the ability to look and keep close watch on the British at this point. Now, this winter here was key for a couple reasons. One, it proved the toughness of the American forces. The Continental Army proved their toughness. A lot of the soldiers moved on. Some did stay there, and really the toughest were the ones that stayed and survived. They also started to get international help. The international help came from places like France, Spain, who really had an enemy in the Brits anyway. So this kind of fueled that battle for them. You have the Spanish, would send guns, food, and ammo. The governor of Spanish Louisiana, at that point was Spain territory. They would send guns, food, and ammo. The French, after hearing upon the surrender at Saratoga, Ben Franklin was already over there. Ben Franklin was able to get support from the French. So the French are sending soldiers, ammo. Remember, they have that common enemy in the British. Even the Netherlands, years later, well, about 3 years later, would send a loan to Congress. So the Battle of Saratoga was a major turning point to get support. People realized, wait, these Americans can win. And the winter at Valley Forge, although tough, they did get, there was a German soldier who came in for training the troops. This ragtag group of militiamen were trained into a professional army at this point. So read on to the other slides. There's 3 different ones. 2 are from Epic, 1 is from your socialist text. And I have also attached the Scene 8 from The Road to Freedom, Winter at Valley Forge. After you read it, go outside, enjoy the weather.